Subscan was released for the Atari 2600 by Sega in 1983. You play as a destroyer at the top of the screen that drops depth charges down onto the submarines that drift across the sea below. Your objective is to take out as many subs as possible until a total of 10 escape from the screen unharmed, and your destroyer inexplicably is split in half and it's game over. You have infinite ammo, but you can only fire 4 shots at a time. Whenever a depth charge is destroyed, regardless of whether or not it hits its target, you'll get another one replenished into your inventory. So you don't want to blow your wad of all 4 shots right away, because you'll have to wait around for your refills. And due to the game's slow as snail shit pace, you could be playing the waiting game for what seems like an eternity. Even when you do connect with your targets, you still have to wait eons to see if it was a successful attack, which makes it hard to decide whether or not to continue pursuing the same submarine or go on to a different one, because it takes so damn long to see if you even need to attack it or not. Now, the game being slower than Retirement Home Sex obviously takes a large chunk of the fun factor level out of a shooter game to begin with, but that can be saved if the pace quickens as the game goes on. See Space Invaders for a great example of how that can be used effectively. And to the game's credit, they did think of this function. Once you hit a certain score, the subs do get faster. But the problem is, it takes so goddamn long for it to happen that you've already lost interest. And the change of pace is not only gradual in time, but it's also gradual in the speed change itself. You don't really notice that the game gets all that much faster. Definitely not nearly as much as the aforementioned Space Invaders. Another thing that sucks is changing your direction of fire. As you probably deduced by now from watching the clips, you can fire to either side. Since all you have is a joystick for direction, you can't toggle which side you're firing to at will, at least not exactly. You'll always fire in the direction you last moved toward, so if you want to set yourself up and fire behind you, you have to overshoot it a bit and then back up. It's really awkward. And because of this, you can also forget about firing backwards as you move. That's just not going to happen. The map at the bottom of the screen does at least give you a glimpse of the off-screen subs on either side, so you can try to time an attack on the ones about to show up. Now, if the monotonous nature of this game wasn't enough to make you believe that this is actually a hypnosis program in disguise, then the sound effects will. They did do a good job of simulating the sound of a submarine sonar for the 2600, but the problem is it's fucking constant. After only 30 seconds in, the sound of someone farting in your ear will be a more appealing option. On top of all this, there's a lack of options. No game variations, no difficulty adjustments, nothing. The only bit of variety you get is the orange bonus submarine that pops up at the bottom every once in a while. Only thing separating it from the other subs, besides the color, is the fact that it awards you with a generous amount of bonus points, and it doesn't count as a missed sub when it goes off screen. Subscan was a good idea on paper, but it left a lot to be desired in every facet of the game, and it sank its way into obscurity.